بعد. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. وقل رب زدني علما. قال الإمام النووي رحمه الله تبارك وتعالى استمرارا في حديث السابق، فقال: ثم نهض فدخل منزله فخاض الناس في أولئك الذين يدخلون الجنة بلا حساب ولا عذاب، فقال بعضهم: فلعلهم الذين صحبوا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم، وقال بعضهم: فلعلهم الذين ولدوا في الإسلام فلم يشركوا بالله، وذكروا أشياء. فخرج عليهم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم فقال: ما الذي تخوضون فيه؟ فأخبروه فقال: هم الذين لا يرقون ولا يسترقون ولا يتطيرون وعلى ربهم يتوكلون. فقال عكاش بن محسن: فقال: ادعوا الله أن يجعلني منهم. فقال: أنت منهم. ثم قام رجل آخر فقال: ادعوا الله أن يجعلني منهم. فقال: استغرق بها عكاشة. متفق عليه. So we talked about this hadith yesterday, or we started the hadith yesterday, continuing with the bab of yaqeen and tawakkul, and the mention of prophets who had one person, two persons, a small group, some prophets who had no one, and then Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam who had a huge following, and then finally Rasulullah was shown two huge contingents of people, two huge groups of people, and it was mentioned that that is your ummah. And so he mentioned that among this ummah are 70,000 who will go into paradise without adab and without hisab. No punishment and no even reckoning, no even account. So now just to get an idea, if 70,000, and 70,000 is a number which is used in the Arabic language sometimes just to indicate a huge number. 70,000 was a very huge number in those days. So it could mean that, or it could mean if it was actually 70,000, the number itself. If we take 70,000 out of, for example, the ummah today, Muslims are about 1.5 billion, right? So it's a very small percentage. It's about 0.00005. So it's not a lot. It's very few. So who are those people? Okay. So Nabi alayhi salam, after mentioning about these ummats and those 70,000, then he went into his house. He didn't explain who were they. So the Sahaba started, discussing among themselves. Maybe these were people who, were the companions of Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. Some people said these are perhaps the people who were born in Islam and they never committed shirk. Okay, and they mentioned various things which, it's not mentioned here. So then finally Rasul alayhi salatu himself came out and said, what's this you're discussing? So they mentioned, we're discussing that 70,000 you were talking about. He said, okay, they are these people who have these qualities. La yarqoon wa la yastarqoon. So yarqoon means that they do not utilize ruqya. So ruqya, is there's various types of ruqya. There's ruqyas which we have been told by Rasulullah, which the use of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the ayats of Quran, or the certain mawadat, or the formulas which Nabi Sallallahu has taught us in hadith. There are also ruqyas which are sort of disputed. Some agree, some don't. Some they qualify their utilization, some don't. Like, for example, the names of the malaika or the pious people, the anbiya, or other things of that nature. Then there are ruqyas which are definitely nobody of Ahlul Islam accepts them, and those are things which are, they are, they have words of shirk, or they have, unknown meanings, who knows what it means, and weird numbers or names, nobody knows what that is. So that's not on in any case. So, which are inferred here? What type of ruqya does Nabi Sallallahu refer to? So, Imam Nawawi, Qurtubi, Al-Khattabi, and others, they are the opinion that they don't use any kind of ruqya. So what's wrong with ruqya? Nothing wrong with it. But their ruqya is that they put their dependence on Allah. What Allah wants for me, it's going to happen. What He doesn't want for me, it's not going to happen. So even in the face of sickness or in the face of difficulties, so they would put their total dependence on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and not seek the means, what we call asbab. So some say, what do you mean? Nabi Sallallahu used to use ruqya, and Nabi Sallallahu used to also use asbab and the means. And well, he did this many times to show that it's permissible. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything that Nabi Sallallahu did was showing the best possible way. Otherwise, deen would be too difficult for most of the people. As we said, that was 0.00005% who will put their total dependence on Allah. So, who are those people? There's conditions for that also. And if you don't have those conditions, then you have to, resort to the regular means that all of us, generally use. What are the conditions are? Number one, you're going to have to be content and satisfied with whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hands out to you. You get sick, your sickness increases and you pass away, alhamdulillah. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted, and you're going to be content with that, and you're also not going to complain about that, number two. And number three, you're not going to tell anybody or show your dependence, on these things to anyone else. Now, if you can qualify in those, with those conditions, go ahead. All right, again, if you're one of those 0.0005, that enter into that category, fine. Otherwise, for most of us, we would actually take the rukhsa or the permissibility to use these things. Allah has created them, we use them, but we don't put our dependence on them. This is another delicate point. So we are allowed to use means, medicine and different things that material means, but if we believe that those means in and of themselves can bring about cure or bring about success in a situation, that is shirk. We put our belief on the things. So those people would not like to get involved in any of that. So we have to keep that fine line of using the means, but putting our dependence not on them, but putting our dependence on the creator of the means. The creator of the means, he is the one and he is the source from where all outcomes stem. May Allah give us all tawfiq. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.